I guess the first time I heard about Romania or heard the word Romania was around 1980. I would think I was like 13 years old, and it was the World Olympics. Nadia Comaneci, if you remember, she got perfect scores, gold medalist, and that was the very first time I heard Romania. And the very next time was when I was about 21. And that was when the revolution in Romania was taking place in the fall of communism, if you remember, 1989. And those were the first times I ever heard really about Romania. I had no idea where Romania was. I didn't know what color the people were. I would have never guessed it was in Eastern Europe. But you know, something grabbed my heart when I began to watch those images on the television about the revolution. I just saw people suffering. I saw children in orphanages, families with no houses, and just people in chaos. And my heart went out to them. Though at 21, I was pretty selfish. I was just living my life for myself and what I could get out of life. And the age of 22 in 1990, I had a real experience, and I remember crying out to God and saying, God, if you can use my life. And shortly after that, a team of people got together out of Texas. With that group of people, I came to Romania, and our scope was to stay at an orphanage for 3 weeks, an all-girl orphanage. And I'll tell you something, in that orphanage, something happened in my life. I all of a sudden, I just became connected, intertwined with a people that was never my people. My heart went out to them. I cried and cried and cried and just felt so that my life could be used. And I came back to America, and shortly after that, I moved to Romania, sold, almost everything that I had, which wasn't a lot, by the way, at 22. But I moved to Romania with the hopes that my life would be somehow used and that I would give hope to people. And people began to flock to me. Kids began to flock to me, and I began to realize that I had a real gift with kids, and not just with kids, but just making people feel comfortable, making people feel like there is hope, that things can change for them. And I gave it everything that I had. I lived in Romania for 18 years. The first couple of years was just an amazing time. There was a nonprofit organization based out of Switzerland that was sending constantly literature, clothes, food. We received one time, I think 20 tons of salami and 10 tons of cheese. And I used to load up my car and drive it down to Bucharest, where there was these street kids, and I would go underground. These kids lived in the sewers at night, and during the day they would beg and sniff glue, and it was just a chaotic scene, but my heart went out to them. I began to know those kids by name. I began to go down and make visitations and find them. One time, this one kid, he was like my favorite kid. And these were just little kids, 5 years old, 6, 10 years old, living on the streets, no parents. And I went to a place where he normally is, and he wasn't there. And I asked around, and they said, oh, he went to the hospital. I remember in Bucharest, a city of 5 million people, I searched 6 hospitals before I found this kid. I didn't even know his last name. I just would walk in there. I go, I need to see Ramos. Is Ramos here? My heart was just bleeding to give these kids hope, to give these kids some kind of future. And Diaconia was so helpful in that, because they were constantly, their heart was just giving. The people of Switzerland gave for so many years for the Eastern Bloc countries. And I was there at that time where I could take that stuff and utilize it and take it to this family and that family. And kids, like I said, would just flock around me, and family members. They say you never can know so much about a man until you walk in his shoes. But I want to tell you, you can never know so much about a man until you use his outhouse, until you eat at his table, until you sit down and eat the food that is prepared before you, even if it looks disgusting, even if you don't know what it is. You just say, you know what, I'm going to please these people by doing whatever I can. And that's what I want to do. I'm back now in the States. I lived in Eastern Europe for almost 22 years, and I'm back in the States now, and I started an organization called West2East Hope International. And this is, it's based out of Alpine, and it's for to reach into Romania with American finances and help the projects that Diaconia has right now, sponsoring children. Okay, there's no electricity, there's no running water, there's no way that these kids are gonna make it in life if someone doesn't help them. The government's doing what they can, but they're not doing enough. There's human trafficking, girls 12, 13, 14 years old that are getting taken away and used as sex slaves. There's families that are illiterate. They have no way of getting a good job, and Diaconia is there, and they're doing what they can. And I believe, and I'm hoping that the American people will rally up with me and will give whatever you can. Whatever you can will help to give to West2East Hope International, to help Romania, to help them get out of poverty. One soul matters. And I've seen souls, and I've seen kids from the time they're 3 years old, and now they're in their 20s, and they're living a good life. And that's because you helped, and that's because Switzerland helped. Now it's our turn again. I can't wait to go back to Romania and see those people and sit with them and talk with them and cry with them if I have to. I need you. Would you be willing to help Romania with anything, monthly or a one-time gift? Thank you so much. God bless you.